What's up guys, QHA3000 here, and welcome to my review of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So this review is going to be divided into three sections: storyline, acting, and special effects. And then at the end I'll give an overall score of the movie. So let's start with the storyline. Newt Scamander is a British wizard who specializes in working with magical creatures, and he travels to New York City with an enchanted briefcase full of creatures. Unfortunately, many of them manage to escape the briefcase and begin to roam the city, which highly risks exposing the wizarding world to No-Mages, which are the American version of Muggles. Newt, along with ex-Auror Tina Goldstein and No-Mage Jacob Kowalski, have to retrieve them all. At least, that's the main plot. There's a subplot about a group known as the Second Salemers who want to persecute all witches and wizards. One of their members, Credence, tries to help MACUSA, which is the Magical Congress of the United States of America. He tries to help one of their agents, Graves, find a hidden witch in the group. Now, I don't think this plot was nearly as good as Newt's, and going back and forth between these plots created a bunch of pacing issues for me, and by the time both stories converged at the end, it just felt really awkward. Also, what the hell was the point of the opening scene with Gellert Grindelwald and the whole newspaper montage saying, like, he's a dark wizard and all that, when he really only appears at the end when you find out that he's Graves? Like, that's the only point that he needed to be in. I don't know why they had the opening scene at all, so I thought that was really a pointless way to open it. They should have just started with Newt getting off of the boat. So, let's move on to the acting. I have to praise Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander. He did a fantastic job. When Newt is working with his creatures, the way he moves and talks to them gives the impression that he cares a lot about his creatures. However, I will say that sometimes Newt kind of slurred his dialogue, making him hard to understand at times. Dan Fogler as Jacob Kowalski was also incredible. He's the comic relief character, and many of his scenes were absolutely hilarious, like his laughing. You also care for him and his desire to open a bakery, and Dan Fogler's performance helps to sell that emotion. I wasn't too big a fan of Tina's sister, Queenie. While her attitude totally reminded me of Luna Lovegood from the Harry Potter series, it didn't work nearly as well in this movie, and I found her annoying a lot of the time. Other than that, everyone else in it was average. And special effects. I didn't think the CGI was nearly as good as in the Harry Potter movies. It was okay, but a lot of the creatures looked like they came right out of a video game. And the wand battles, as few as there were, weren't very convincing either. I didn't find them that exciting like I probably should have, although I did enjoy the bank scene at the beginning of the movie. I think this mainly comes down to the pacing issues and not caring about many of the characters except for Newt and Jacob. I didn't really care what happened to anybody else other than the two of them. I think it's also worth noting that this is J.K. Rowling's first ever screenwriting credit, and after seeing this movie, I think she should stick to writing books. However, I did appreciate some references to Harry Potter, like mentions of Hogwarts and Dumbledore, and one scene where Credence is wearing a necklace that has the symbol of the Deathly Hallows on it. I also laughed at the scene when Newt is talking to the head of the Second Salemers, and some Quidditch terms like Seeker and Chaser are unintentionally referenced. I also have to mention that Credence's haircut completely reminds me of Moe from the Three Stooges. I don't know if they did that intentionally, but oh my god, I had to laugh at that. Like, the whole movie wants you to care about him by the end, and I just didn't. And that's a big reason why the end of this movie didn't really work for me, is that you're supposed to care a lot for Credence, and I really didn't, because he wasn't built up as a great character a lot of the time. So, my final score for this movie is a 6 out of 10. I honestly thought it was just okay. Like, it wasn't totally bad, but it wasn't great either. It had some good moments, like, probably my favorite part had to be the inside of Newt's briefcase and all of the different climates and the different creatures he has in there. That was absolutely incredible. I loved that part. But the pacing and the writing and just, it didn't really give a drive to make us care about a lot of the characters. And there was so much going on a lot of the time that, didn't amount to anything. Like, the whole subplot with Jon Voight's character in the newspaper and his son, running for president. I didn't care about that at all. I thought that was a totally useless subplot. That totally didn't need to be there, so... But definitely the best part of the movie had to be Newt's whole storyline and going after the creatures. So, 6 out of 10 for me. It was just okay. And being the big Harry Potter fan that I am quite disappointed with this movie, sadly. So, hopefully they can get it together for the next 4, because this is the first movie in a series of 5. I really hope that they, do what they need to do to get us back on board. At least to get me back on board with it. So, that's my review of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. So until then, peace out.